they've been so friendly and anxious about the infecting police relations. But it's good to see everybody pulling together.
I think from the people we've been talking to, a lot of it is about not only the misinformation that goes out, but also the fact that what you're finding out is a lot of rumours. I mean, there's been some rumours already. The police have been putting out messages about like 300 young Asians coming down from Highfields or St Matthews, and the police are trying to talk them down. And then there's people who've been injured last night, and it's all this kind of rumour control. I mean, we've just been stopped by someone on the street there who claimed that him and his 2 children have been attacked in their car. Been punched and kicked and all that sort of stuff, you know. And again, it's so difficult to substantiate any of this, and you know, and we're just trying to say to people, don't retweet any of it, don't buy into any of it. Fine, the official channels are, you know, from the police, and obviously we're here on the ground with our community reporters, and one of our community reporters always had a bit of a hard time as well, you know. So
what we saw was people from the community in Highfields reassuring and calming their own community. That's very impressive. And police having to do very little, just standing there as things calm down, because I think there was a fear that EDL people were about to move into Highfields, and once it was clear that was not going to happen, then things calmed down very considerably.
Well, we had confirmation from the Harbour Mail tweet saying that quite a lot of them had met up in Market Harbour, and they were quite worried about that, and then have obviously all moved on to here, and they're still arriving here as well by coach, and of course they're supposed to disperse by 3:30. I was talking to Sheila Lott this morning when I interviewed, and I said, you know, rather than focusing in on what's happening today, let's focus on the community side of things. And she must be, you know, she was very impressed at how the community had all pulled together and used, if you like, something we've got here, which we don't have in a lot of other cities, which is existing community networks that we can tap into straight away. And the community are part of that support and planning for these kind of things, and that's why we're here. I mean, from your point of view, is that what you saw this morning?
I think the degree of interagency cooperation, the efforts made by the City Council, the degree of consultation, the degree of information put out, that's all been very impressive.
Now, I had a message this morning from someone who's been following all of these things on Twitter, saying about how, you know, who's picking up the cost of all of this sort of stuff. You know, why aren't the sort of the EDL, you know, recharge the cost of this? Because obviously, you know, estimates range between sort of 350 and 500,000 pounds. I mean, and there is an awesome amount of police officers there and resources that you see generally that have obviously had to be brought in. I mean, can you make any kind of comment on that?
All the policing costs will be borne by the police, which is the police authority. We don't know how much that will be yet, but the sort of figures that you've mentioned are the right sort of ballpark figure, maybe even more.
Now, what people need to understand is, obviously these people are exercising their democratic right, and they're coming here and they're having their opinion. Maybe we don't agree with the way that they say it, but you know, ultimately any cost that is borne by the police authority will then potentially, with all these cuts that we're expecting anyway in the next couple of weeks, be borne by sort of frontline services, whether it's the City Council or the police or any of those kind of things. You know, it's a real shame at this particular moment that they've come to...
Yes, it's a substantial extra cost at the time when police was making savings.
Is there anybody else would like to make a comment about anything today?
What you said about the rumours, the Federation of Muslim Organisation, which is the umbrella body, has its offices planned all day, and we get updates from the police on a regular basis, and likewise I've been passing text messages and emails to the community out there to remain within the area and not to make the job of the police more difficult than it is. We have limited number of resources, and we should allocate those resources to where we think the problem is, and by the community coming out will not help certainly in relation to this. And so a lot of them heeded the warning, but unfortunately people have come out of town as well, come from other cities, and we have actually met up with a few of them, but it's managed to sort of calm down now, and a lot of the crowd has dispersed, I think, in the last sort of 10 minutes.
Well, you could actually see it this morning. It was very quiet in town, and then there were still people going about there shopping, and there were families with children, and they were going up and sort of stroking the police horses. And from the sort of the area around sort of the BBC big screen and the UAF end, there was quite a, like I said, a bit of a family atmosphere, and it was actually quite calm. And then you could feel the ratcheting up till 2 o'clock arrived, and then you could feel the tension had changed, and you could start hearing the chants from the other end. And I think that's when a lot of people decided to kind of leave town.
Which is quite sad, because for a city of Leicester that has a record at a European level as being the progressive city that we can think of, certainly in the UK, but also Europe. To have something like this on our doorstep, again, is a reminder to all of us that the cohesion that we enjoy is so fragile that anymore things like this can disturb you. But I'm so positive that the resilience we've built in this community through our infrastructure, through the various organizations, has helped us today. And all communities have rallied around. We had a peace rally yesterday, we're having one with the city tomorrow. All of these added together will show people out of the city that as a city we will not be divided irrespective of what's happening here today.
Now, I should imagine as a kind of a police authority, you'd encourage everybody to come into town tomorrow and support the We Are One Leicester event again. And also, I think a lot of the retailers, a lot of them look quite anxious standing outside their shops today. I think one of the worst things I've seen today is actually the market. It looks completely empty on Saturday when normally it's such a vibrant in the city centre. Would you encourage people to come into Leicester tomorrow and show their support?
I think it's absolutely crucial if we are going to win this particular battle that we're talking about, then people and normality is to happen as soon as possible. We encourage everyone to celebrate Leicester's best. There's a marathon that's taking place tomorrow, and after lunchtime, the city will show its very long groupings of all the wonderful things that are happening in the city, and will more or less reclaim the city back again. So yes, our appeal to each and every person out there in the community who's listening to this, please come back to the city and let's bring the city to normality as soon as possible.
Thank you very much for a great talk.